You're watching the MAC on ESPN. From the University at Buffalo, it's a MAC showdown between the Falcons of Bowling Green and the Bulls from Buffalo. It is rainy, cold, wet. Ball security will be job number one for the Falcons and the Bulls. With Gerard Cherry, I'm Doug Sherman. Glad you're with us. And for Bowling Green, they are looking basically for consistency that has been so elusive this year.
That's right, Doug, and it's fair to say that so far this season, Bowling Green has experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. With their signature victory over Georgia Tech, a Power 5 program, one would think the sky's the limit for what this program could do in regards to stacking victories. Unfortunately, though, for Bowling Green, the momentum from that great victory over Georgia Tech did not last long because they were quickly brought down back to earth, enduring a dominant defeat over the Miami Redhawks last week.
Meanwhile, Gerard, for Buffalo, they opened the year with 4 consecutive non-conference losses, but since the calendar has turned to MAC play, they are undefeated, looking for 3 in a row.
That's right. A victory today for Buffalo would mark the idea that they are 3-0 in the conference, and they have a statement that they want to make, and that is that they are in potential to win the MAC East.
The Buffalo Bulls looking for 3-0 in league play. And they'll be dealing with the frustrated head coach of the Falcons, Scott Loeffler, in his 5th year, former Michigan Wolverine, 48-year-old from Barberton, Ohio. Again, consistency is what has riddled this program so far this season. They just don't know from week to week what they are going to get, hoping for one of their better performances here this afternoon. And on the other side, Maurice Linguist looking for 3-0 in the MAC East. The former Baylor Bear safety in his 3rd season as head coach of the Bulls. The Falcons won the toss and will receive the opening kickoff. Gerard, what should we look for in this matchup here today?
Student body left, student body right, up the middle. You're looking for a lot of running to take place due to the conditions of the weather. And right now, Doug, I am witnessing a jump off between the sidelines of both these squads, and that they're trying to outcompete each other in regards to who could be the most motivated to play in these elements.
What are you seeing so far? Who's more motivated?
Looks like Buffalo is starting to win, but they may have more numbers because they brought more here, because obviously Bowling Green had to travel and they only bring so many players.
All right, we are underway. Alex McNulty with the opening kick, and that is what he does. That is now 11 straight touchbacks on kickoffs. Nearly 80% of his 31 kickoffs this season have not been returned, and so BGSU will begin on its own 25-yard line. And the starting quarterback today, as told to us this week by the coach, is Camden Orth, not Connor Bazelak. The weather conditions play a big role in this decision.
Certainly, because Bazelak is considered the better passer of the 2 quarterbacks. But Camden Orth, with this opportunity to start today, what he wants to show is that, hey, I can be a dual-threat quarterback. I can run as well as pass the football, but obviously he's out there right now because his prowess is much greater as a runner.
Making his 2nd start of the year, he started at Michigan, but suffered a game-ending injury in the 2nd quarter, and on first down, handing it off, no surprise, give it to Terrion Stewart, one of the more productive backs in the MAC so far this year.
It certainly is, and he is a load and a half. With that small stature, he brings a lot of weight behind those pads as he picks up positive yards on first down.
For his career, averaging 6.5 yards per carry. That's number 1 in program history. Gain of 8 on first down, and why not give it back to number 4 in white. He bounces it outside, makes a cut, fumbles the football. We talked about ball security today, and on the 2nd play from scrimmage, the ball comes loose. It appears the Falcons, though, retain possession near midfield.
Nice job of bouncing outside on part of Stewart, but ball security, yes, is the issue. And you have to protect the rock, and if you don't, Michelle will strip the football from you, as he did right there. But very fortunate that Bowling Green was able to get the football back.
Alex Wolschlegel, the starting right tackle, recovered that fumble, and so BGSU with the football on the Buffalo side of the field here at UB Stadium. From under center, Camden Orth. Flag.
Ball start. Offense. Number 1. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's the number 1 receiver on this team, O.J. Hilaire. And I mentioned Scott Loeffler is frustrated. That's just going to add to it.
Exactly. You have a situation where you're not even going in motion. You jump off sides. But you're now in a situation now 1st and 15. And we talk about playing clean football. And if you're going to win consecutively and have good outings on a regular basis, you have to play clean and not make mistakes like that.
There is Hilaire in motion. And another pre-snap penalty. Looks like it's going to go against the Falcons.
Ball start. Offense. Number 53. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's your left guard, Tunde Fatukase.
It's now 1st and 20 for Bowling Green at the 41.
My goodness, the PA coming booming through for us. This is a Bowling Green team that has been blown out 3 of its last 4 games. But again, the outlier was the win in Atlanta over Georgia Tech. That play just was going nowhere thanks to the tremendous defensive pursuit by the nickelback, Solomon Brown.
Yeah, Solomon Brown does a nice job of staying at home, but it's a really easy read to diagnose because, again, are you going to run or are you going to pass with it being 1st and 20? More than likely, you're going to pass the football. So Bowling Green has to do a much better job of staying disciplined and doing the necessary things because you don't want to have 2 negative plays after 2 positive plays. That will equate more than likely to bad football being played.
That was Teron Keith out of the backfield for no gain on the reception. He stays in the game next to Camden North, the senior from Gainesville, Florida, who began his college career at LIU. Pass a little bit behind the intended receiver, Abdul Fattah Ibrahim, who could not come up with it. And that'll bring up 3rd down and a mile.
And with these wet and windy conditions, Doug, what I would like to see Ibrahim do on that particular route is just sit down and give your quarterback a target to hit, not a moving one, but a stationary target, especially in these weather conditions. Makes it much easier to throw as well as catch.
Let's see if Buffalo dials up the pressure on 3rd down and 20. 3 receivers to the near side. Orth is completing 60% of his passes on the year. And they're going to run the football. Still on his feet, Keith. And finally wrapped up at the 48-yard line.
And give credit to Keith for trying to make an effort to pick up more positive yards. But if you don't have those consecutive false start penalties, Bowling Green is really looking at a good situation where they pick up the 1st down. Hence why it's so necessary to play clean football and not beat yourself. And on that drive, they certainly did that.
Right, first possession, a fumble, and 2 pre-snap penalties. And so that stalls the drive, and the punt team is out there for Bowling Green. A short punt that Ron Cook will not field. Ball deadens inside the 30-yard line, and that's where the UB offense will come onto the field. Good coverage by Patrick Day, backup safety from Hilliard, Ohio. And so for Buffalo, no question about QB1, Cole Snyder, the Rutgers transfer, a graduate student from Lakewood, New York.
Yes, he's been in this program for a couple seasons now. Came on strong last year and really has a sense, as we talked to Coach Mo, about his ability that, hey, he knows his offense and he's built to run it at a high and efficient level.
And one thing this Bowling Green defense says it has to do is get off the field on its first possession. Pass incomplete, trying to find Booby Curry over the middle. Bowling Green has given up a touchdown on every single one of their first defensive possessions this season. It's a remarkable run that they are dying to stop, whether it be on downs, on a takeaway. But as long as the opponent doesn't get into the end zone, they'll feel like this is a win.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to put that on your resume as a defensive coordinator.
No. Steve Morrison, Samuel Lowanson, the co-defensive coordinators. Joseph Sipp, the team-high 45th tackle for Bowling Green, will bring up 3rd down and about 4. And now Buffalo goes empty. Cole Snyder leads the MAC in 218 yards passing per game. The line to gain is the 38-yard line. Time enough to pass. Lays it out there. The ball is caught, but out of bounds was Booby Curry, the former Arizona Wildcat. Could not keep his feet in.
Yeah, high pass on the sideline there. Curry goes to the aerial attack to try to bring it down, but nice hit on the part of the Bowling Green defender to force him out of bounds. But it looked pretty close right there that he may have got 1 foot in.
It was. The boundary corner, Jalen Husky, was right there, but the official was decisive that Jalen Booby Curry stepped on the sideline. So that'll bring the punt team out for Buffalo, although now with the stoppage, we may have a review.
Yeah, interesting play call as well.
So that Bowling Green defensive streak is not yet snapped. Perhaps it is. We'll see on review.
And the key component here is Curry's foot down, and is he? And there, wow, that looks good to me. And he has control of the football at the same time. As we see it from this angle, elevates, has a football, foot down. That's a catch.
Booby Curry is 6'2", 205 pounds, a senior from Houston, second-year grad transfer from Arizona. And he is in the midst of a breakout season. I agree with you. It looked like on that replay.
You can really see it right there. There's still some green between his foot and the sideline. Right there is the perfect shot.
Or is it the black of the shoe that we're seeing?
It's a good
question. No, it's not. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's all white sole. It's not a black sole.
Now the question becomes, was he controlling the football while that foot was on the ground is what they're looking at this point as well. But very interesting call in that catching the fade route, especially in this weather, is a very difficult thing to do. And Booby, to his credit, was definitely competitive and I believe made the catch.
Now, Booby Curry played 25 games over 3 years in Tucson when the Wildcats were not winning many football games, and so he got his degree and decided to make a change here in Buffalo.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. 4th down.
So perhaps they didn't feel there was conclusive evidence, and maybe they also thought that Booby did not have control of the football while his foot was in bounds. We will not know, but hey, Bowling Green's defense is going to get off the field on its first try.
Yes, they are, and they are fortunate they're in a situation where it shows to me, Doug, that Buffalo doesn't have confidence in their running game because they certainly passed more on that opening drive than they did run the football.
Well, Buffalo offensively has not had a 100-yard rusher yet this season. Mike Washington's 88 in a game, the most they have had. This for a program that has run the football extremely well over the years. Nowhere to go. Great coverage as Jalen Embry was swallowed up at about the 20-yard line. Bowling Green gets the football back on a rainy day in Western New York.
A truck is a tool, but a Ram is life. It's the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. Nice. Discover how Ram powers all the lives you live during Ram Power Days.
During Ram Power Days, get $4,000 retail cash allowance on most 2023 Ram 1500 trucks. Don't miss this great offer. See your local Ram dealer.
Pair of pick sixes among his 3 interceptions that tied the program record. He was named the MAC East Defensive Player of the Week. He was also the Bronco Nagurski National Player of the Week. And he was given a helmet sticker by Joey Galloway on ESPN's College Football Final. Everything was all about number 23 in black, now blue this week. What a performance for somebody who played the position. You have a great understanding of what it takes to do what he did.
Yes, because his resume should not have the ability to catch on it, but Devin definitely shows that, hey, if he wanted to make a transition to being a receiver, he could certainly do that.
Look at the tough running by Terrion Stewart. My goodness. He picks up 19 yards, most of that after contact.
And this is flat out, I want to pick up more yards than you really want to bring me down, as Terrion Stewart uses those powerful legs like a locomotive and pulls the crowd with him for a gain of 19 yards. Very impressive, violent running on his part.
Well, the formula in the upset of Georgia Tech was give the ball to Stewart. He ran for 138 yards as the Falcons possessed the football, and here he goes again. Breaking tackles inside the 45-yard line, still on his feet. My goodness. Finally, Jaden Oliver rides him to the ground.
And unfortunately, it's going to be brought back more than likely with holding being the call.
Holding. Offense, number 53. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
That's Fatou Kassé.
And that's so frustrating, Doug, when you have that type of effort on a part of Terrion to run with that much heart and conviction and then to find that it's going to come back and you're going to be in a negative in the loss as opposed to positive. And that's a momentum-killing play right there.
Well, 2 years ago, Stewart came into UB Stadium and rushed for a career-high 170 yards and a couple of touchdowns, including a 77-yarder. The Falcons won that game over the Bulls 2 years ago, 56-44. We'd be surprised if we have that kind of offense here today. Quick screen pass, and it is blown up. Buffalo defensively was just waiting for that play, and Harold Fannin, after making the catch, went backwards.
Yeah, once again, Bowling Green utilizes a short throw. In this case, they try to do a screen pass, and to the credit of the Bulls, they sniff it out and run it down and come up for another loss on the part of Bowling Green. And it's fair to say, Doug, that Bowling Green is doing more so in the running game to beat themselves than what the Bulls are doing to him on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Demetrius Harris Jr., the first to hit the ball carrier there. And so now second down and half a mile. Camden North gets rid of the football. It's caught. Across the 35-yard line. The ball is out. Second fumble of the day for Bowling Green. And this time, they do not recover the football. Buffalo with the takeaway. Marcus Fuqua has the pigskin.
And this is why Coach Leffler is so upset with his squad. You have to do a better job of ball security.
We'll take a break. Bowling Green coughs up the football, and the third-team All-American defensive back has it for UB.
Can't sleep.
Just a lot of
And we are back. There was no break in the action. Glad you stayed with us. There are the numbers on Marcus Fuqua, the graduate student from Southfield, Michigan. First-team All-MAC a year ago when he had 7 interceptions, including 3 in one game against Toledo. So he got to have that record all by himself for a year. Now his teammate with those 3 interceptions, Devin Grant, last week. So now the fumble is under further review to see if Fuqua indeed comes up with the takeaway. Well, Fuqua is the wily old veteran of the defensive backs. He gets everybody in place, kind of unsung, does his work. But how can you be unsung? Third-team All-American last year, joining Khalil Mack and Jarrett Patterson, the only other AP All-Americans in program history, both on to the NFL, of course. Fuqua next year would love to be in pro football himself.
He's in great company because those two names right there, when you think about Bulls over the years and what they represent, and then Khalil Mack being regarded as one of the better players in the National Football League, is tremendous in his own right. But with that particular play, what you love about it for the Bulls is that
ball will stand. The ball came loose before the ball carrier was down. Levi Guzarek. Or check that, Austin Osborne, excuse me. And indeed, it was recovered by Marcus Fuqua, and so Buffalo's offense will come onto the field with a very short field from the Bowling Green 33-yard line.
Yeah, and the memo has to be really simply sent to Osborne. We're in wet conditions. Protect the football. But to the credit of that defense for the Bulls, nice job of getting the football out and putting their offense in a great position to score some points.
Cole Snyder taking the snap from Isaiah Wright, the second weak center for Buffalo. And running straight ahead, the pile moves in Buffalo's favor. It's going to be just shy of a first down. Positive yardage for UB.
And more importantly, in the running game where they've had some issues of late, but right there they got away with one because that should have been a tackle for a loss and potentially a holding call, but the refs decided not to call it.
Instead, it's a 9-yard pickup for Ron Cook as we've got an injured Falcon on the field. There we see it's Ali Saad, junior defensive end from Dearborn, Michigan, former Minnesota Golden Gopher. And, you know, Buffalo has shuffled that offensive line the last couple of weeks, moving Isaiah Wright from left tackle to center. That provides more size at that position. He's 6'4", 300, and they feel like the changes they've made up front now with Trevor Beck starting at left guard, Gabe Wallace moving over to left tackle, might help to generate more production running the football.
Yeah, that certainly is a goal, and it's going to take some time to get that orchestration down because of the issue with the offensive line is that it's like a symphony in that these guys have to get the rhythm and timing together, and once they get that down, then they'll be good to go, but it just doesn't happen overnight. It takes playing a couple games in order to get that down.
And apparently, Mo Linguist knew he wanted to make that switch, but waited a few weeks until Isaiah Wright got enough reps in practice to get himself up to speed, moving from the outside to the inside. On 2nd and short, bouncing it outside and getting the first down, Ron Cook Jr., the 5th-year running back out of Washington, D.C.
And Ron shows you the speed and ability to get outside because right here, if you don't have containment on the part of the defense, bad things are going to happen. In this case, you have to, if you're Davin Ferguson, get outside. Keep your containment. Don't allow Cook to get outside of you to pick up that first down.
So Cook, as you see, limps to the sideline. And we've also got backup quarterback C.J. Agbana now behind center. The running back is Mike Washington Jr., who provides a lead block, but of no use to Agbana, who runs in to the line. And there's another mistake by Bowling Green. Whistle had blown. They continued to play and sent Agbana flying backwards.
And if you're Cassius Howell, you have to be smarter than that. You can't afford to make these mistakes. Don't give them free yards and bail them out.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 0. Penalty is half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
And with the way Buffalo ran the football against Bowling Green in a win last week, you cannot do that. I mean, last year, Cook and Washington in a blowout win out at Bowling Green each scored 2 touchdowns against the Falcons, and now they're knocking on the door again. Just outside the 10-yard line, first down and 10. Snyder back into the game at quarterback. He keeps the football and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Great read on the part of Cole Snyder in that Davon Ferguson made a major mistake. You have to contain the runner. You cannot jet inside and assume it's going to be a backside play for you. And with Ferguson overcommitting on the run, Snyder, to his credit, simply runs into the end zone. If no one's going to be there to defend that territory, I'm going to take it to the house, and that's exactly what he did.
An 11-yard touchdown run for the graduate student from Southwestern High School here in Western New York. McNulty's point after is good. So the Bowling Green fumble proves costly as Buffalo punches it in. The quarterback keeps
about the WNBA Finals.
UFC 294. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Buffalo committed a penalty on the point after, and during the break they just re-kicked it, and it was good. Alex McNulty, one of the best in the MAC, no problem. So still 7-0 Buffalo. Along with Jerron Cherry, I'm Doug Sherman. Glad you're with us here in the first quarter on homecoming in Buffalo, and BG mistakes continue to benefit the Buffalo attack.
Exactly. Overcommitment on the defensive side of the ball is a bad thing in the world of football, Doug. And right there, Davon Ferguson thought he could get the backside play, but guess what? Cole Snyder has the football in his hands, not the running back that you were chasing on the backside, which led to the touchdown.
Well, when Snyder decided to leave Rutgers, the two schools that were in contention for him, Buffalo and Bowling Green, Coach Loeffler told us this week he was disappointed that he didn't get Snyder, and Snyder gets Buffalo on the board. Alex McNulty with yet another touchback. That is now 12 in a row for the young man who has just been excellent this year. The reigning MAC East Special Teams Player of the Year. Last year's MAC Special Teams Player of the Year with a program record 24 made field goals. Got a big leg as well. And so now Mr. Orth and the Falcons offense back out there. Can they hold on to the football? Fumbled it multiple times, and penalties have just been so costly as well.
Yeah, it's certainly a case of they're doing more to beat themselves than what the Bulls are doing on the defensive side of the ball.
Fake the handoff to Stewart, who sets a block. Orth falls forward to the 32-yard line. Good pickup on first down. It'll be 2nd and 3.
lot of space provided by the offensive line for Orth to pick up those positive yards, and I like how he lowers his shoulder to gain about 6 or 7 yards on that first down play.
Another tackle by the All-American free safety, Marcus Fuqua. Orth hands it off on the sweep, but there is a timeout called by Buffalo before the snap.
Coach Lindquist saw something he didn't like, called a timeout. And right now for Bowling Green, what you have to be thinking is the following. Let's string together some positive plays, because you'll have 2 or 3 good plays, and then that'll be followed up by 2 or 3 negative plays. So find some way to get the negativity out of the plays that are being executed, and you can find yourself back in this football game.
And to me, that would signal giving the football to number 4 in white, Terrion Stewart. As mentioned in the win over Georgia Tech, where that was not a fluke win. They went to Atlanta and beat
soundly, yes,
the Yellow Jackets. And in that game, he carried the ball for 138 yards. And more importantly, Bowling Green controlled the football for 43 minutes. Yeah. Your best defense can be that kind of offense.
Certainly. And for Terrion, just stay the course. Don't get frustrated at the fact that you're not getting the calls that you feel you should get, or that plays are being brought back. Continue to be productive and optimistic.
Hand it off to Stewart, and he goes to work. A first down run, still on his feet. My goodness. Has he touched the football yet where he has been dropped on first contact?
He refuses, and that's a sign of a quality back in that, as you see. First guy that hits me, do I slow down and stop? Yeah, slow down a bit, but do you keep churning those legs? That's a sign of a quality back when the first guy that makes contact with you does not bring you down. Very impressed with how Stewart is running the football so far today.
Bowling Green from its own 39-yard line. Camden North, who grew up in Gainesville, Florida, rooting for the Gators. His mom still works in the athletic department for the football team at the University of Florida. Her son hands it off. Stewart stumbles and goes down. Pressure from the edge from Charles McCartherins made sure that if Stewart recovered, he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and the turf got Stewart right here as he tripped on one of his teammates as well, so that didn't help with the footing. But if you're Stewart, stay positive. Keep running the way in which you are, and have that mentality that no one person is going to bring you down. It's going to take a committee. And now Bowling Green finds himself in a situation where they have not had much success when it's been long distances in which they have to pick up first downs.
And McCartherins, one of the true freshmen starting for this UB defense, who they are so high on. Deion Crawford is a good-looking linebacker as well. On the reverse, Hilaire. Good blocking in front of him, and he steps out of bounds at the Buffalo 49-yard line after picking up another Falcons first down.
And this is a great job at play call on the part of Bowling Green. Hilaire, as you see, runs very smooth and fluidly as he says, you know what, I'm not about taking contact, so I'm going to step out of bounds.
Well, he is riding a 41-game reception streak. He's yet to make a catch here today to make it 42. That's among the best currently in the country. But they want to get the football in his hands any way they can. Now Orth, all day to throw. He lets it fire down the sideline, and a juggling catch inside the 10-yard line will make it 1st and goal. Falcons. Austin Osborne sure-handed there.
And at some point, Orth has to get rid of this football and credit the offensive line for giving him plenty of time. But even better is the fact that Osborne makes up for that fumble earlier with the circus catch and comes down with the football as he tips it back to himself and maintains control as he hits the ground.
In spite of the fact that Jaden Oliver was all over him. And now time is called. So now we're going to review this play.
And what they'll be looking for is to see at any point during that catch of Osborne, did the football hit the ground? From the vantage point, the angles that we just saw, I did not see the football hit the ground. And Osborne's locating the football, starts to juggle it, but the key component is, does the ball hit the ground? And nowhere do I see right there does the ball hit the ground, and eventually he comes down with control of it.
It seems pretty clear from that look. The senior from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, made the catch. He was a big-time recruit, a 4-star coming out of Mission Viejo High School. He picked Washington over Michigan, Oregon, UCLA, Tennessee. He was Bowling Green's top receiver a couple of years ago, missed most of last season with injury. Did return for the last 4 games, and he has continued this year to be one of the key receivers for Coach Loeffler's offense.
My heart. First down.
I like the background music we have for all of the referee calls.
Yeah, very entertaining. Especially if you're into modern day hip hop.
As we discussed pregame, you and I, before the start of things here this afternoon. Buffalo looking for its 3rd straight win. But Bowling Green is on the move.
And for Orth, that's a confidence builder. You're labeled as the running quarterback. Right there, he showed ability to pass the football.
Well, he spent 3 years at LIU at the FCS level before transferring up to Bowling Green. He was the top reserve quarterback a year ago. Handed off to Stewart. And this time Buffalo bottles him up and eventually stops him inside the 10-yard line. Deshaun Folsom, it appears, was the one who finally said to Mr. Stewart, "You're not going any farther."
Yes, you don't want Stewart going north and south. You want him to go east and west. And on that particular play, the defensive line for the Bulls did a great job of causing Stewart to span outside and never turn up the football field to square up his shoulder pads.
And now Stewart goes out, replaced by Teron Keith, the junior running back from DeLand, Florida. Standing alongside Orth. Ibrahim, the motion receiver. Orth dumps it to the running back who was not looking. It hit Keith right in the middle of the back. Buffalo picks up the football and is running the other way. Buffalo thinks it has scored a touchdown. And unless the ball didn't hit the ground and was caught on the fly.
Rolling on the field is a forward pass, incomplete. It is incomplete. 3rd down.
Yeah, I thought the ball hit the intended receiver Keith right in the middle of the back and dropped to the turf.
Yeah, while he was heading upfield, that's the key component to it all. If he had been running at an arc of an angle, which he's not, he's getting hit in the back right here as he's moving up the football field. So there by no means is a backwards pass. But here's the problem for Buffalo. They just expended so much energy running down the football field. So if you're Coach Lindquist, you might want to call a timeout because your defense is probably spent.
And especially the true freshman Deion Crawford, who's the one who picked up the football and ran some 90 yards the other way. So youthful exuberance, let's say
that is so true. However, if I'm Bowling Green right now, I am running the football right at a tired defense who just ran 80 yards or 90 yards down the football field thinking that they had a touchdown.
And now Buffalo will indeed
Buffalo
call timeout.
Second of the half.
As you said they ought to. You understand what it's like.
Very much so. And people always think, okay, they're both running, they're both tired. Well, on the defense, you actually work harder than you do on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm not saying that because I'm a former defensive player. It's just the absolute truth. Defensive linemen are required to run down the football field and chase the football wherever it goes. After a certain down distance, offensive linemen can stop. They don't have to keep running. It's understood. But on the defense, you have to constantly swarm to the football. And that's such an astute move on the part of Coach Lindquist in that your defense is tired now. So they just ran 90 yards. So give them a chance to catch their breath, get fired up, and hold their own in this red zone defense. Because if you didn't call that timeout, chances are they're going to just run right through you because guys are simply fatigued.
And like you, Mo Lindquist played defense.
So he gets it.
Absolutely, at Baylor University. He was an honorable mention All Big 12 Conference defensive back. 3rd down and goal. Orth with Keith standing alongside. Orth gets rid of the football, caught, and out of bounds outside the 5-yard line. Going to mark it inside the 6. On the receiving end was Finn Hogan, who continues to evolve into a hybrid receiver. Came from Central Michigan as a wide receiver, now as much a tight end as he is a wide receiver.
Yeah, and I'm always intrigued by guys who transfer from schools within their conference. But yes, he's working that hybrid role as a guy that can play both tight end and receiver with that big body.
And so the drive stalls out at the 6-yard line, bringing on Alan Anaya, sophomore place kicker from Mexico. And it is good. Bowling Green gets its first 3 points of the afternoon. So you're saying if you had transferred from Cal, you wouldn't have gone to Stanford?
No. No, I would not have. But then again, he didn't transfer from one rival to the other, though.
No.
Now, would I have gone to USC or UCLA? I might have considered it.
Maybe. Well, Finn Hogan is from Maple City, Michigan. And again, he spent a couple of years as a Chippewa, now as a Falcon, and continues to grow in his role for that man, Scott Loeffler, former quarterback at the University of Michigan. And so the Falcons seem to have, well, at least for their last possession, that last drive, pulled things together.
To a degree, but if I'm the Falcons, I'm also disappointed because you had a situation there where you have a tired defense and you only muster 3 points out of that drive, where I feel you want to walk away from a momentum standpoint with potentially 7 on the board with the extra point being made. So give the Bulls credit, and rightfully so. They're fired up because they held them to 3 points off of a big play.
Now Bowling Green gives the appearance of kicking it away. Thought for a second they might try to get cute on a wet turf. Let's see if they kick it away to Cook, standing back deep at Buffalo's 5-yard line. Indeed, that is where it goes. Cook comes forward to take it at the 12, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Big return for the terrific return specialist for the University at Buffalo.
And that's an excellent job on the part of Cook of getting the ball to the 35-yard line. That's great field position to actually make that 37-yard line. Great field position for this offense, because it's much easier to go less than 70 than it is driving 75 yards.
There's some of the ranks for Cole Snyder in the Mid-American Conference. Number 1 in yards passing per game. Number 3 with 11 touchdown passes to go along with 4 interceptions, completing about 61% of his passes. Cole Harity in motion, going to keep it on the ground and first down. And BG swarms to the football for a short gain by Mike Washington Jr., the sophomore from Utica, New York, about 3 hours to the east.
Yeah, and those numbers, the stats that you read out for Cole Snyder are good numbers, but I'm pretty sure they want to see more balance with their attack and get more of the running game involved, along with the prowess of that passing attack.
Washington averages 4.6 yards per carry this season. He has found the end zone a couple of times. And again, he had his career high against this Bowling Green defense a year ago, 155 yards rushing. Snyder lost it. Fumble gets kicked to the 30. If BG picks it up, it can score. And a touchdown saving tackle inside the 10-yard line. Bowling Green is in business and can take the lead. Darius Lorfils with the fumble recovery.
Great job of Lorfils of getting the fumble recovery. We call it scoop and score, not scoop and kick. But eventually he gets the football back as he fights with a teammate to get that recovery. Very fortunate he was able to get it. But here's the thing. We opened the game talking about the conditions. They know the conditions better than us because we're inside of a booth while they're on the football field. Protect the football.
It's funny, Darius Lorfils, the free safety, had to fight off his own cornerback, Jordan Oladokin, for the football. No, I want the football.
No, I want it.
And you would have thought they could have scored. Now it's up to the offense to punch it in and try to take the lead. Orth hands it off. Stewart drilled and dropped. Joe Andreessen, the team leader in tackles, with the big stop for Buffalo.
And this is the second time in the red zone in which the Falcons have decided to go with, I'd say, more of a zone run as opposed to just going straight ahead, man-on-man, blocking as you try to have a pull-in of a guard right there. Just go straight ahead. You have much more success doing that as opposed to pulling guards, because it's allowing the penetration of the Bulls defense to get to you when you try to orchestrate that type of run.
Second down and 10. Stewart right up the middle.
Still
Play
fighting.
still alive. They're going to mark him down at the 1 after a 9-yard gain.
And simply put, you better serve when you let Stewart square up his shoulder pads as opposed to running laterally. And right there, you see great effort on his part. As he's going down, he's still fighting, using those arms, just pulling himself for more positive yards. Great effort on the part of Stewart.
Devin Grant was hanging on for dear life and finally dropped number 4 at the 1. It's 3rd and goal. Orth up the middle. Touchdown, Falcons. Bowling Green takes the lead.
Great job on the part of Orth recognizing the weakness of the defense and not straight ahead in that interior as he picks up positive yards, eventually brought down, but it doesn't matter because he crossed the white line to get in the end zone for the score.
Well, Orth has shown that he can be a really good quarterback for Bowling Green. Last year got into 10 games, repeatedly subbing for Matt McDonald, making his 2nd career start here today. And so Alan Anaya, his older brother Alberto, plays for the men's soccer team at Bowling Green. Kicking a ball runs in the family. He's got a field goal and now a PAT to make it 10-7 Bowling Green.
Yes, and what you like about this particular run is the blocking. Once again, you have a bunch of space for Orth to choose where he wants to run that football, and it was in the interior. Notice they didn't try the lateral running plays because they had no effectiveness against this Bowling Green defense, who does a great job of running sideline to sideline, but that push forward they've struggled with so far in this football game.
And so now Mo Linguist's team that spent the week practicing in the rain as much as they could. They've got a beautiful indoor facility beyond the end zone to our left, but as most coaches do, when you know you've got bad weather coming up, you've got to practice in it as well.
Right, and you do extra things like make sure guys are playing with wet footballs where you douse it in a bucket of water on purpose so you can just get used to the idea of dealing with the elements.
But a Buffalo fumble turns into 7 points for Bowling Green. Jack Sauter will kick off again for the Falcons. Final 25 seconds of this first quarter. This time Cook backpedals, lets it land and go into the end zone for a touchback. There is that wet football, and the Buffalo offense will come back out and see if it can hold on to that football.
Right, and that's the tragedy of what took place for the Buffalo Bulls offense, in that Snyder made an excellent read and once again fooling our camera crew, and they thought that the running back had the football, but he did a great job of running, but you have to, again, protect the football. So they found something with this read option, in that Snyder is getting success on the outside because of the overcommitment on the part of the defense for Bowling Green.
Washington takes the handoff, gets to the line of scrimmage and runs over a defender for 7 yards.
And I love the physical run on the part of Washington, but he probably could have picked up more yards and may potentially still be running if he bounced that outside.
Well, Washington is considered the thunder to Cook's lightning. Got a taste of it there. Called, so we'll take a break as well. Actually, end of the first quarter, how about that? The Falcons take the lead. Holding on to the football has been the biggest issue so far. Each team has capitalized on the other's miscues. Head to the second quarter next.
A truck is a tool, but a Ram is life. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
And Buffalo with the football, trailing 10-7 in a first quarter dominated offensively by Bowling Green. 139 total yards to only 19 for the Bulls.
Yeah, a lot of that was due to the efforts of Darion Stewart running the ball very effectively for Bowling Green.
Harry in motion. Snyder hands it off. They go with running the football on 2nd down and short. Mike Washington Jr. out of Cicero North Syracuse High School. Even though he's a Utica native, began his high school at Utica Notre Dame before transferring to become a North Star as a wide receiver his junior year.
Definitely doesn't have a temperament of most wide receivers. He looks for the contact.
Well, at 6'2", 215, he can deliver some punishment. Snyder gets rid of the football and just throws it away. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
Wise decision on the part of Snyder. And I'm noticing too, Doug, that Buffalo's going with the up-tempo. And when you consider the makeshift of what's taking place with their offensive linemen, I would slow it down and give these guys more a chance to adjust and adapt to what's taking place with the defensive fronts, but they're deciding to go with this up-tempo approach instead.
Cole Snyder has yet to complete a pass, only has attempted 2 so far this afternoon. Gonna run it here. Falls to the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 after a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, if you can average 5 yards a carry, keep doing things that will put you in a position to run those plays and get the job done. Because if you're Buffalo, just be patient. Still a lot of time left in the start of this 2nd quarter. You don't have to answer right away to the scoring drive that that Bowling Green just had.
Big 3rd down here to see if that Bowling Green defense can get back off the field.
And there are a bunch of people from Bowling Green right now really upset with me. That is their rival.
Time is called here in Buffalo.
Look, Mom, I found one.
Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from our bank, unless you want to spend a small fortune in fees.
No, thank you. Banking with BMO means more fee-free ATMs than the 2 large
score. Kent State tried an onside kick to begin the football game, and it was returned by Kendrick Noling for a 44-yard touchdown. From there, Eastern Michigan rolled. And I'm most intrigued by the game in Muncie, Indiana. Toledo, only 3 points on the board, 3-3 with Ball State early in that 4th.
Yeah, that speaks of weather conditions having an impact on the football game, because we know, particularly with Toledo, that's a high-flying offense.
Here in Buffalo, wet, rainy, cool. Temperature at kickoff was 49 degrees, and Cole Snyder has yet to complete a pass. He goes empty now on 3rd down and 5. On the rollout, short pass way off the mark. Not a chance to hook up with Cole Harity.
Rollout pass, and you're having so much success running the football. Sustain it, trust it.
Well, Buffalo has been good throwing the football this year. Again, we showed the numbers. Cole Snyder leads the MAC in passing yards per game, but they have become one-dimensional here today, and that's a real problem.
It certainly is, and you never want to be predictable, because that is the case when you become one-dimensional as an offensive unit. And on top of that, with the weather conditions, it's hard to throw a football.
Veneri, the punter, from his own 30-yard line, gets off a good one. Handled cleanly at the 10-yard line. And a minimal return by Jalen Embry, the 5th-year Falcon and 4th-year return man from Jacksonville, Florida. Well, we talked off the top the frustration of this Falcons team. They are truly Jekyll and Hyde. They're either really good or they're really not good.
All right, you've seen it on display in this first half, in that there were moments of promise, like that's the type of running attack that you want. That's the type of passing plays you want to have orchestrate with your offense. And then you see the ugly, which is the mistakes, the penalties, hurting oneself in the effort to push the football down the field.
Bowling Green had 4 penalties in that first quarter for 30 yards. 2 fumbles, lost 1. But the good news for them, Buffalo fumbled it back to them, and the Falcons' only touchdown came on a short field. Stewart still bouncing off of defenders, able to pick up 3 yards on 1st down.
And you know you're an effective runner when there's no one taking you to the ground, and it takes a cavalry of Buffalo Bulls to surround you to still not get you on the ground. But I still like the idea, Doug, of them running more straight ahead as opposed to the lateral running game with Stewart in mind, because once his shoulder pads are square, it's almost impossible to bring him down.
Well, he came into this game 4th in the MAC in yards rushing per game at nearly 70. Orth on the design quarterback run. He's going to pick up a first down and more. Takes a big shot. But there is Camden Orth, the 6'3", 225 QB, who can take a shot.
And what impresses me about this run, watch the block by the running back right here. He doesn't hold, but he does a great job of providing more space for Orth once he gets to that second level. And it's going to take a committee to get the job done. And right there was a great example of doing just that on the part of Jason Patterson for the Bowling Green Falcons.
Team high 4th tackle for Devin Grant, but not before the Falcons move the chains. Orth rolls out, looks to throw it back. The screen is set up to the tight end Fannin. Spins away from a tackle and gets across the 35-yard line.
And now we're starting to see Bowling Green open up the playbook. Nice job of fanning it out to the right side and then going back to the opposite field with the tight end screen, and then give credit to Fannin for picking up positive yards. And right now for the Bulls defense, they're in the mix because they can't decipher if it's going to be a run or is it going to be a pass. Great play calling and execution on the part of Bowling Green Falcons on the offensive side of the ball for this drive.
So good to see number 44 back out there. He was banged up against Michigan, missed a couple of weeks. They need number 44 in their offense. Here's Stewart, number 4. Another chunk play out to the 45-yard line of Buffalo.
Great run, great design of a play. You have more offensive players on the side of the ball than you have Bull defenders, and then you have this guy, the power man, Mighty Mike is what I'm going to start calling him, Terrion Stewart, as he picks up positive yards, showing that he can also bounce to the outside and pick up positive yards as well.
Well, he lists Memphis, Tennessee as his hometown, but he went to Sandusky High School in Ohio, about an hour east of the Bowling Green campus. And you're right, 5'9", 225, just a bundle of energy. Tough to bring down, as we have seen time and again. Give it back to Stewart. Picks his way to the 40-yard line. Wrapped up and dropped there by Jair Stevens.
A lot of physicality takes place when he has his hands on the football. He's not going to go down with just one guy, and he gets a spell right there because he's been running tremendously hard. But what you appreciate, too, is that the offensive line for the Bowling Green Falcons is starting to push around the Bulls more so on the defensive side. So if they're going to slow this Falcons offense down, they got to do a much better job in the trenches of getting penetration and applying pressure.
And Buffalo's got good depth on that defensive line. They rotate 9 guys in pretty evenly. Orth, another designed QB run, and he's still on his feet. Big play again on the ground for another Bowling Green first down.
And this is the beauty of having what we call a dual threat, or in this case, a running quarterback. But to his credit, Orth shows you that, hey, once I'm in that second level, I can be very effective as a runner, and I can bring and lower my pads as well.
And if we don't need to throw the football in a day like today, why would you?
Exactly. As the rain continues to come down here in Buffalo, New York.
Teron Keith now the running back out there for the Falcons at the 26-yard line of UB. Keith picks his way forward for a gain of 5.
And we just see more effort on the part of Bowling Green. First guy makes contact, they refuse to go down, whoever's running the football, be it Orth, be it Stewart. I just love what you're seeing, as well as Keith, getting him in the mix as well.
Yeah, yards after contact have been a big part of the story for Bowling Green in their favor so far this afternoon. Stewart back in at running back.
And look at the depth of how far back he is.
Takes the handoff from Orth, bounces it outside, takes a big shot, spins off it, and it takes 2 more guys to bring him down. But Devin Grant came like a bullet, drilled him, and again, number 4 just won't go down.
And Devin Grant had to get low for that because he stands at 6'4", and as we said before, Terrion Stewart is very short, but that is what you call bringing it. But because he's so compact and so strong, he simply just refuses to go down.
Finally, Andreessen gets up.
Takes
and
3 or 4.
Brings him down.
Yeah, he feels that one, though.
And so he'll take a blow. Keith back out there. 3rd down and 5. Orth fakes the handoff on the sweep. He's got an open man near side, caught at the 15-yard line. It's going to be a first down for Bowling Green.
And Orth goes to Ibrahim, but I would have preferred him actually not to go out to the boundary area, but he had an open receiver in Teron Keith, who probably had more room to work with and not.
Now Ibrahim is one of 2 Alabama A&M transfers on the Falcons wide receiver group. He was an FCS All-American. Stewart trying to run off tackle left. Not much room. He picks up 1.
And Devin Grant's probably saying to himself right now, I gave that guy everything I could possibly give, and he still didn't go down. But to his credit, Devin, you don't know this. It did impact Stewart to a degree. And he's probably still feeling the effects of that hit because he was not that effective on that run. But give credit to the defensive line for the Bulls of getting penetration on that play and slowing Stewart down.
They say no gain on that carry. 2nd down and 10. Orth with Stewart leading the way. Orth gets to the 10-yard line.
And now Buffalo figures from the defensive side, okay, they're going to run interior. They want to go in the interior. So now if you're the Bowling Green Falcons, show something that sells the idea that you're going to go in the interior, but have something to go outside in the form of a run or a simply quick pass, because there's really not enough defenders out there for Buffalo to defend it because they're so concentrated on defending the interior of the defense.
And you got to look there at the alternate helmets being worn for just the 2nd time in program history today for Buffalo on homecoming. A logo that dates back to 1993. They pulled it out and have made it part of the rotation.
And considering the weather conditions, great attendance.
Orth chopped down at the 5-yard line. He falls forward for another first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Bowling Green.
And this is exactly what I was talking about, Doug, in that sell the inside run, but take it outside because, again, you got one-on-one situations because of the fact that the Bulls are so concentrated on shutting down and protecting the interior because they haven't had much success in slowing Bowling Green down.
And just another tackle for Devin Grant, who, according to head coach Mo Linguist, even when he's not picking off 3 passes in a game, he's got the look of a guy who could play in the NFL. 6'3", not afraid, good tackler, and, of course, he's a playmaker. Orth rolling out, tries to find his running back. He does, and he walks in. Teron Keith into the end zone for Bowling Green.
Great job of coming back to a play that had success earlier. Now, in the previous play, when I made mention that they should go to Keith on that pass, there was a receiver out in the boundary. But this time they say they were going to isolate. No one's going to pick you up in the flat. Then what are we going to do? We're going to pass it to you. So great job of recognition on the part of Orth and the offensive coordinator for Bowling Green of understanding that the linebackers simply weren't picking up the running backs coming out of the backfield. And Keith is the benefactor of that.
Well, why do you think, as the point after is booted through, well, we'll talk about it when we come back. Why on earth is Bowling Green able to effectively pass the football today, and we have seen none of that from Buffalo? The rain continues to come down, and it seems like it's coming down harder now than at kickoff. The Falcons securing the football here in the 2nd quarter and securing a 10-point lead.
Target.
Here's a look at the preseason poll in the MAC East division. Buffalo did receive 1 first-place vote and is picked to finish 3rd behind Ohio and Miami. Bowling Green checked in at number 4 for whatever that's worth, but we're about midway through the regular season. But just getting into the meat of MACtion, what do you think about those spots for Buffalo and BG at this point?
Well, they seem to be accurate because it's fair to say that at this point in matchups against Akron and Kent State, you like both these teams ahead of them, but Miami and Ohio would certainly pose a problem as they're pointing towards being the premier teams in the MAC East.
Cook runs it up the middle, and again, the pile moves in Buffalo's favor. A good pickup of 6 yards on first down. So Buffalo, with Cole Snyder at quarterback, has not been able to throw the football at all this afternoon. Would you consider going to your run-first quarterback, C.J. Agbana, who we've seen on 1 play so far today?
At some point, I would certainly bring him into the mix. But considering we only have 4 or 5 minutes left in the half, you're going to have to figure out something on the aerial attack because the 4 or 5 yards just won't simply do it, considering how much time is left in this first half.
Well, Snyder ran for Buffalo's only touchdown at 7:38 of the first quarter, a 10-yard run, and that came off of a Bowling Green fumble. But they have not had a sustained drive yet today.
Yes, and if you're going to play a sound and solid offense, you have to stay on the football field and keep the defense off of the field and pick up those first yards, and they have not been able to do that.
Harity and Johnson, the receivers to the near side, keep it on the ground to Cook. Right up the middle for a short gain. Dontrez Brown, the defensive tackle from Fremont, Ohio, with the tackle after a short gain.
Yeah, and running in the interior, there's daylight there, but 3 or 4 yards at this juncture of the game is not going to do much for you. And you like to say, well, let's run some play-action pass, but the defenders for Bowling Green have to understand what time it is in the course of this football game, and situationally speaking, that, hey, don't let anything behind you.
Snap was bobbled. Now Cook with it. Maybe that throws off the timing just a little bit, but it certainly allows for Joseph Sipp Jr., the tackling machine for BG, to come in and make the stop.
You're absolutely right, Doug. Just that little bit of a hesitation by fumbling that snap throws everything off, because if you see right there, there was a lot of running room, but all that closes down by that little bit of hesitation. We say it's all about timing and orchestration on the offensive side of the ball, and that was a perfect example of that.
Sipp had a career-high 12 tackles in the season opener against Liberty. 3-star recruit who had offers from Colorado State, Liberty, USF, and these Buffalo Bulls. So now 3rd down and 3 yards. They've got to get to the 45-yard line. Snyder to the air, sets up the screen. His first completion nets negative yardage as Ron Cook Jr. was dropped.
And great job on the part of Davon Ferguson of sniffing out this play and making an excellent open field tackle as he brings down a very shifty and speedy runner in Ron Cook Jr. And that's the beauty on defense of knowing what the offense wants to do. It was no secret to me or to the Bowling Green Falcons that the Buffalo Bulls were going to go pass on that play and go short yardage in the pass because of the fact that the rain's coming down so hard.
Punt is blocked. Falcons pick it up and walk into the end zone. A huge play for BG to extend that lead. It's a touchdown for Payshawn Wimberly, one of their big special teams performers.
Buffalo makes the assumption that they're going to go with a punt, safe look, or return, and Bowling Green says, no, we're not. We're going to be physical. We're going to bring the house, and they do a great job of, one, not roughing the kicker, but scooping and scoring for the touchdown. Excellent execution on the part of Bowling Green Falcons, and they have taken over this first half, this football game, with excellent play on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, as well as special teams.
Well, it's no surprise that the senior from Whitmer High School in Toledo made that play. He had 3 block punts a year ago that tied for the most in the country. A former walk-on who was awarded a scholarship before last season finds the end zone again.
Hey, well, the NFL is always looking for special team specialists.
You got that right.
He can find himself on the roster with that type of play.
Bowling Green 23, Buffalo 7. This rain-drenched crowd on homecoming is in shock.
If not incensed, because sitting in the rain, you do not want to experience this for homecoming weekend with all the festivities that they have planned around here. And a nice turnout for this game as well, considering the rainy conditions.
Jack Sauter to hold. Junior from Franklin, Tennessee, for Alan Anaya, who lines up the point after attempt. And it is good. All 3 phases in sync right now for Bowling Green. Offense, defense, and special teams. The block punt turns into another Bowling Green touchdown. 24-7 your score.
This isn't Charmin. No wonder I don't feel as clean.
Hurry up, Dad.
I'm trying. This cheap stuff is too thin.
Here's Charmin Ultra Strong.
Ah, my bottom's been saved. Woo-hoo!
With its diamond weave texture, Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better with fewer sheets and less effort.
What's everybody waiting for? This?
we all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
And for a shower fresh clean feeling, try Charmin flushable wipes.
How good does it feel when Threshold Decor welcomes more seasonal style for less? When you can save on Good and Gather groceries in all the fall flavors. And when quality ingredients bring more to the table. When you get low prices on the latest trends. When rewards come with quality and coziness. And when you're serving up taste they love at low prices. That's totally Target.
Here's where legends are born. And every match is a spectacle. Celebration like no other. For the love of football, for the love of La Liga.
I still believe in heroes.
We found you.
Not as strong as you think. Where are you going?
To kill Thanos.
Avengers!
You took everything from me. Now I'm returning the favor. She's targeting the people that I care about.
What are you prepared to do?
Give her hell!
Watch me.
The Marvels, rated PG-13, in theaters November 10th. Get tickets now.
Are you gonna capture my attention?
Superb racing. Yes, guys.
A.V. McGarry's blocked punt allowed Payshawn Wimberly to return it. 18 yards for a score. Another takeaway. These are the stats coming into the day, but Bowling Green continue to force turnovers. And in this game, especially capitalizing on it.
Right, and that's going to be the key in the rainy, wet conditions, and that you want to help the offense out by scooping and scoring with the special teams plays. And on top of that, just simply momentum killers. And right now, it's fair to say that with it being homecoming for the Buffalo Bulls, that Bowling Green has all the momentum.
Sauter with a low kick. It rolls to Cook, who scoops it up. Gets across the 20, across the 30, flag down as he is tackled at the 34.
Cook with a return out near the 35. There are flags on the play.
Well, Cook is a two-time All-MAC third-team kick returner in 2020 and 2021. Good return there, but will it stand?
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 22. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Al-Jay Henderson, one of the backup running backs from Irvington, New Jersey, with the holding penalty. And that'll push UB back with 2:13 remaining in the second quarter.
And when you're in these type of conditions as a football player, you have to just be more cognizant of your technique and understanding that your footing won't be there. So you cannot get your hands extended because they're going to call that in a heartbeat. They're looking for it. So you have to make sure that you're on top of things.
Snyder in the empty set, standing at his 19-yard line. The graduate quarterback from Lakewood, New York. All day to throw, finds a man over the middle. First positive yardage on a pass play of the day. It's Cole Harity on the receiving end, his 26th catch of what's been a productive season.
Cole just sits down, says, okay, we're in the zone, or as he avoids the official, level difficulty high on that play.
Snyder slings it, and it's intercepted. Another Buffalo giveaway and another takeaway for the Falcons. With the interception, Jalen Husky, his third of the season.
And at this point, you're wondering, were they out too late for the pep rally? Because they're not in sync whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Washington's not even looking for the football as Snyder threw that to more so the defender as opposed to his running back coming out of the backfield on that play.
Husky is now second in the MAC in interceptions this year with his third. Sophomore from Gaithersburg, Maryland, out of Quince Orchard High School. And of course, he doesn't have as many picks as Devin Grant, who had 3 last week, 4 for the year for Buffalo. But now another short field on another Buffalo turnover.
It's amazing because early on the issue was with Bowling Green turning the football over, but that has certainly changed.
And Stewart continues to just chew up yardage and run through and around Buffalo defenders. It's a 12-yard gain to move the chains.
And another great play design on the part of Bowling Green. They're faking like they're running a screen, but no, Stewart still has the football in his hands as he runs straight ahead for more positive yards.
Well, a Bowling Green score here could put a stranglehold on things before we get to the halftime locker room. What a change here in the second quarter. Orth fakes, now throws, and it is picked off. McCarthyans up the sideline. A huge takeaway for Buffalo on defense, and that may keep UB's hope alive.
It certainly will be, and the coaching point for Orth is really simple. If you're going to throw a fade route to the boundary, which is a low percentage pass, you cannot stare down the receiver, especially if they're anticipating you trying to go deep on this play. Great job on the part of Charles McCatherians in picking off that football and then taking it positive yards down the field to put his offense in a more promising position.
And that is his 3rd interception of the year. He had a couple at Louisiana Lafayette on September 23rd. He was the only true freshman that day in UB's 25-year FBS history with 2 picks in 1 game. Now he's got his 3rd of his burgeoning collegiate career. Again, just a true freshman from Georgia. And now can Buffalo cash in with 1:10 remaining in the half. Cole Snyder looking to set up the screen and just throws the ball onto the turf as it was well defended by Bowling Green.
Well, one thing from our vantage point, I see that Bowling Green is still running man-to-man concepts. So if they're going to continue to do that, if you are the Bulls, put some double moves with some max protection into your play calling and see if you could take advantage of a team unwilling to play in zone with not so much time left in this half and the need for them to get down the football field with chunk plays.
Buffalo is only 2 of 8 passing for 2 yards in the first half. Snyder, there's a completion to the 45-yard line. Certainly no yards after the catch for Marlon Johnson as he is driven back.
And the vertical passing game for Buffalo is simply non-existent at this point. They're going to need some semblance of that if they're hoping to move the football down the field and score in this half.
Clock runs at 45. Snyder to the air again. Caught along the sideline. It's a good catch. Nicely done to Daryl Harding Jr., the former Duke Blue Devil.
And give credit to Snyder because he put some heat on this pass. DB could not get there to get the PBU. Nice concentration on the part of his receiver, Harding, to make that catch.
The Bulls with signs of life moving the football in the closing seconds of the half. Clock stops with the receiver going out of bounds at 39 seconds. Snyder trying to find a rhythm. Under pressure, has to get rid of the football. It's an incomplete pass, as coming through was Cassius Howell with another quarterback hit.
Cassius Howell coming around on the loop. Gets to the quarterback because he had what he wanted from a matchup standpoint out wide, Snyder, and that there was a one-on-one coverage, and his receiver had managed to actually beat the DB, which is amazing that they're running man coverage in this situation. That being the Bowling Green Falcons on defense.
So 2nd down and 10. Here comes the pressure again, picked up. Snyder's pass, though, batted down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete to bring up 3rd down and 10.
And we're seeing a lot of batted passes, so that tells me that the defensive line for Bowling Green is getting penetration. So what you may want to do if you're Snyder is roll out to the side and just take your shot there, as opposed to standing in that pocket where they're having an easy time of knocking those passes down.
Dontrez Brown, the big senior from Fremont, Ohio, 6'3", 300 pounds, with that deflection. So now 3rd down with 30 seconds to go in the half. Brown on the nose, looking to be disruptive again up front for Bowling Green. Cook motions out of the backfield, look to throw it that way. It's a forward pass. Cook inside the 40-yard line, spins to the 35-yard line. Clock down to 20 seconds, and it'll bring up 4th down. What do you do if you're Buffalo?
I see a running back pass in our future. I can tell you that much. It may not happen this half, but that's a nice setup for that play down the road.
Down to 7 seconds. They have a timeout to use. Buffalo not using it.
I guess they're going to
try a long field goal, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of time wasted there on that play.
Well, if you're not going to go for it on 4th down and you know you're going to try and kick the field goal, why not run it down to a couple of seconds left in the half? And their kicker, Alex McNulty, has a big foot. Mo Linguist knows that his kicker has 5 career field goals of 50 or more yards. The longest was a 55-yard boot. A program record at Northern Illinois a couple of years ago. This year, 7 of 11 with a long of 53. That came at Wisconsin. And so he will come out, and it'll be a 50-yard attempt. But again, the weather conditions are not conducive to holding or kicking the football.
And being down 2 scores as opposed to 3 sounds much more convincing in that halftime speech that Mo Linguist is going to have to give to his troops.
No doubt. Jackson Baltar, grad student from Orlando, with the key hold, kneeling at the 40-yard line. From the right hash. And time is called before the snap by Bowling Green.
Right of the snap. 30-second. Charge timeout. Bowling Green. Their 3rd and final of the half.
And so McNulty will have 30 seconds to think about it. Young man from Western New York, Caledonia, out of McQuaid Jesuit High School. That is in Rochester.
And I like what McNulty did there, Doug, in that he went through with his kick. So that gave him a practice kick. So he pretty much knows what he needs to do from a alignment and assignment standpoint that Edwin actually went through as well. So stay with that same process and procedure that you just utilized, because that was good from that distance. Let's see if he can duplicate it.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Last year's Special Teams Player of the Year in the Mid-American Conference when he booted 24 field goals, a program record. Looking for his 8th of this season. Good look at the dual major, physics and biology. Wants to be a veterinarian, and he carries a 3.8 GPA. The kick is away, and it is no good. What would have been a 6th career 50-plus field goal just misses. And so Bowling Green will carry all the momentum into the halftime locker room. Falcons 24, Bulls 7. Ball security was a problem early, but the folks who have made the trip to Western New York from Ohio like what they see. Our halftime report is coming up next.
The Little League World Series champions!
Go when Penny Boone scored the only touchdown of the day to survive Ball State, so the Rockets improved to 6-1 and continue to set the pace in the division. Miami, Ohio looking good as well. There's the schedule on ESPNU and ESPN Plus for next week, highlighted by the big showdown between the Red Hawks and the Rockets, 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPNU. 2 of the 3 prohibitive favorites along with Ohio at this point in the MAC.
Certainly that could be a MAC championship game right there between Miami and Toledo in the future.
With Gerard Cherry, I'm Doug Sherman back in Buffalo, New York on a cold and rainy afternoon. Bowling Green will kick off to Buffalo to start this 3rd quarter, leading 24-7. And they kick it away from Cook and allow the second return man to try and bring it out. And he is cut down at about the 19-yard line.
Man, you love the intensity on the coverage unit for Bowling Green.
Cole Harity filling in for Nick McMillan, one of the better wide receivers and return men for Buffalo. He's been out now for a few weeks with injury, and so Harity got the opportunity. He stays out. The graduate student transfer from both Weber State and New Mexico State. And we saw Buffalo in that final possession of the second quarter, Gerard, finally get its passing game going, but now they've made a change at quarterback with C.J. Agbana replacing Cole Snyder, which signals more running of the football. And on first down, the surge allows for a 4 or 5 yard pickup.
Yeah, and a smart way in which to be more dimensional in your offensive attack, because the first half it was primarily passing the football with minimal success, but trying to establish the run with the hope that ultimately it will open up the passing game.
There you see the numbers on Agbana, junior from Wheeler High School in Atlanta, Georgia, graduate transfer from Southeast Missouri State. He began his career at Hutchinson Community College in Kansas after having originally signed with UMass. He did have some big-time offers. And running the football again, it'll bring up third down and manageable. And if you're Buffalo, you'll take that. Bring up a third down and maybe 2.
Yeah, because you have the run and pass option to deal with. But right here, not much running space to contend with for Cook, but give him credit, he was able to pick up some positive yards.
Ron Cook Jr., the starting running back out of St. John's College High School in Washington, D.C. Had a couple of touchdowns against Central Michigan last week. Has 4 touchdowns on the season. On the jet sweep. The ball carrier turns the corner and falls for a first down. Buffalo moves the chain. Victor Snow, the Nevada transfer, and perhaps the fastest man on this Buffalo offense.
Well, they might want to put the ball in his hands more often than not, because Snow did a great job right there of finding the hole in the defense and picking up positive yards for that first down.
For Agbana, this is his 5th appearance of the year. He has completed his only pass attempt, but it was for minus yardage. Fake the handoff to Harity. Agbana straight up the middle for an 8-yard gain.
And you wonder, was the change from Cole to Agbana due to feeling that Cole was not effective? As you see, Agbana right here almost gets the face mask penalty drawn for his cause as he picks up positive yards.
And UB working with some tempo. Cook takes the football. He's going to be close to a first down. Looks like they're going to give it to him with a yard to spare. Buffalo's second first down to begin this third quarter. What do you think about those alternate logos we're seeing on the helmets there, Gerard? Do you like or not?
I like them. They're friendlier than what you normally see on a Bulls helmet.
Again, it's a logo from 30 years ago that was dusted off last year. Now worn for the second time today on homecoming. Agbana out across the 50-yard line. Makes a good decision and brings up second down and 2.
Bogdan is simply saying, okay, if you're not going to defend that tackle area and everyone's going to be there to contain me or force the issue, I'm going to pick up more positive yards.
Agbana got his bachelor's degree at SEMO last year, and after having lost his starting job there, came to Buffalo to serve as backup to Snyder, getting a big opportunity here. And it's another Buffalo first down. Mike Washington Jr. on the carry.
And I'm looking on the sideline trying to spot Snyder, and I cannot spot him anywhere. So you wonder if this change is due to injury, as opposed to simply trying to find another guy to go to, because they weren't having much success on the offensive end for the Buffalo Bulls.
He tried to hand it to Harity and nearly lost the football. Agbana did a good job just to secure it and go down as the pressure was coming. Adrian Wilson among those who were there to blow it up.
The timing is so important right there. The execution was obviously off because Harity prevented Agbana from pulling the football back so he could get more positive play out of that potential handoff.
Big tackle for the junior from Tinley Park, Illinois, out of Lincoln Way East High School. A loss of 3. Washington remains on the field as the running back for Buffalo. Agbana to the air for the first time, batted in the air, free ball, and a nice job by Johnson to knock it down, but BG says it intercepted the football.
They certainly did. That's Dave Von Ferguson with the play. Had an earlier mishap in the first half of this football game, but he certainly makes it up right there with the tip drill interception.
So I wanted to credit the wide receiver Marlon Johnson for playing defensive back and saying just knock it down, but it didn't work.
No, but give credit to that defensive line for the Bowling Green Falcons. Batting the ball in the air and coming away with an interception.
Takeaway by the former Kansas Jayhawk, telling all his teammates about it.
Look, Mom, I found one.
Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from our bank, unless you want to spend a small fortune in fees.
No, thank you. Banking with BMO means more fee-free ATMs than the 2 largest U.S. banks combined, including
prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
Evan Branch Haynes, the sophomore defensive tackle, makes the deflection, and how about the catch by the DB? Davon Ferguson, and he hasn't stopped smiling or talking about it since he got to the sideline.
Yes, he's one happy camper as he controls the football coming to the ground as he catches it with his body, and that's a wise thing to do because us DBs aren't known for having the best of hands, but he did a sensational job there, Davon, of bringing down that football and getting the INT.
And still talking, still telling his teammates and his coaches they're sitting on the bench all about it.
I saw this and then I did that.
Another big Buffalo turnover gives the football back to BGSU. Terrion Stewart's first carry of the second half for minimal gain. Remember, he's knocking on the door of another 100-yard performance after a tremendous first half.
Well, Jalen Bass right there did a great job of slowing down Stewart. And that's one of the few times that we've seen one person actually bring him down for a tackle.
The center is Alex Padgett, calling out the protection. How about that? Making the man miss. More yards after contact, and it's another first down for Stewart. Breaking ankles all the way.
Now, we credit him for being a power back, but right here he shows you the ability to be elusive. Sticks it in the ground, but then he comes up against a very sure tackle in Devin Grant, who finally gets him to the ground after a significant gain of yardage.
But not until he goes over the century mark for 100 yards on the day. He had a career-high 170 yards 2 years ago in this building, couple of touchdowns, as the Falcons won that day 56-44. Keep feeding number 4. Buffalo's ready this time, and Stewart is turned away by C.J. Bazile.
And when you get this type of penetration to where you're not getting forward, as a tight end is coming across for the block and he gets stuffed, that slows Stewart down so he's unable to get any footing and gather himself to move forward on that play. You have to do a better job if you're the tight end coming in motion of getting up the football field to provide spacing for Stewart.
A loss of 3 on the tackle by Bazile. Stewart again. Wrapped up and then finished off. First man to get there was Jaden Oliver, and then he got help from his teammates.
Stewart breaks it to the outside. But here you see the beauty of having a swarming defense, and that you have guys corralling Stewart so he cannot pick up more positive yards.
Fuqua lowered that shoulder to make sure he didn't get any further than the 33-yard line. 3rd down and 9. You see Stewart's numbers, 18 carries, 113 yards. That's how you average 6.5 yards a carry for your career. Into the game for the first time in the third quarter, Teron Keith spelling Stewart on 3rd and long. Keith stays in to block. He has no one to block, plenty of time to throw the football, and it's intercepted. Buffalo with the pick as the football was taken by Jaden Oliver.
And on this play, Camden Orff did several things wrong that he has to correct in order to have a more effective day passing.
Oliver, another one of those long defensive backs like Devin Grant. 6'3", and coming up with a takeaway as Buffalo tries to fight its way back into the game.
Look, Mom, I found one.
Oh, yeah, you did, but we need an ATM from...
In Buffalo, and what did Bowling Green quarterback Camden North do wrong on this interception?
Oh, a couple of things that he did wrong, Doug. First and foremost is if you're going to throw to the opposite hash, make sure that you do not stare at the receiver. And as you see right here, he's looking the whole time as he thought someone came open, but you have 3 defenders already over there anticipating that some type of out route is going to be thrown that way. So you cannot stare at the receiver if you hope to have success passing that football to the opposite hash.
He's 3-time Super Bowl champion Gerard Cherry. I'm Doug Sherman. And so he certainly knows what he's talking about. And as a defensive back, you must just be licking your chops when you see him
literally,
staring
like,
him
here
down.
we go.
But now can the Buffalo offense possess the football and put more points on the board? Mike Washington Jr. with the carry on first down.
Still no sighting of Cole Snyder.
And you're right, I have not been able to spot him on the sideline either. So it does make you wonder the cause for the switch to begin the third quarter to the backup quarterback, C.J. Agbana. And his only pass attempt was intercepted on a batted ball. Now he puts a little air underneath it as Harity, and we may have flags coming. Indeed we do, as the defensive back ran right through
Agbana's pass
receiver.
Intended for Harity. Incomplete. There is a
Davon Ferguson will pick up the penalty.
Interesting that the
interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Now the field judge didn't make that call. So I find that interesting because in my mind, okay, you're turning, you're starting to look for the football, and the ball's hitting you in the back. What is he going to do? You can't fight through that. He can't really turn because the receiver's turning in his body as well. So on that one, being a former DB especially, I'm going to let it go.
And I'm guessing the captain there is not going to be telling all his teammates and coaches about that play when he gets back to the sideline.
No, but on some levels, though, I think he was should not have been penalized for that play.
Well, he was in single coverage with Harity and does get flagged, so it moves the football for Buffalo out to its own 43-yard line. Agbana gives it off. Washington chopped down shy of the 45-yard line after a gain of 2.
But here's the unfortunate part. If you're going to depend upon the referees bailing you out on your shot plays, that's not going to get the job done, especially when you're trailing by 17 points. You're going to have orchestration in your offense. And so far in this third quarter, it's been a bit of a struggle for Buffalo.
Second down and 8. Agbana gives on the handoff. Washington wrapped up immediately.
Play.
Flag on the play. Kitioni Tau, I believe, was the tackler who penetrated and had his hands on the ball carrier.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 55. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
So that's Evan Branch Haynes, who earlier this quarter, there you see, got a little bit of the face mask.
Yeah, that's might be grounds for ejection. It's one thing to grab his face mask, but let it go. And so far, Buffalo is surviving off of miscues on the part of Bowling Green. If you clean that up for the Bowling Green defense, you're doing a much better job on the defense as far as slowing them down.
Scott Loeffler in his 5th year as head coach at Bowling Green, hoping his defense can bow up and stop this Buffalo drive. Agbana throws, single coverage. The receiver goes up and can't haul it in. Daryl Harding at 6'4" makes a tremendous target, but he couldn't corral it.
No, he couldn't, because Jordan Oladuncan does an excellent job of playing through his hands. Right here as a DB, you're taught to go for that aiming point with that being his hands. And as he gives you that spot to hit the football, he does a great job, Oladuncan, of knocking the ball out.
It looks like the rain has stopped for now here at UB Stadium, but things are soaked. It's been raining all day long, started overnight. Showing pressure. Now BG backs off. 2nd and 10. Ron Cook Jr. It's Agbana who keeps it off the fake. Now a flag down back around the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense. Number 85. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down.
That's the tight end Schnacks, Andrew Schnackenberg, junior from Arkansas City, Kansas.
And Schnackenberg just has to be smarter than that. The ball is past you. You do not need to do any extracurricular. Just simply continue to do your job once he gets past you and let the runner do what he's capable of doing, which is picking up positive yards. So once again, the Bulls are impacted by poor technique.
So back to midfield, 2nd down and 20. Johnson, Marlon Johnson, the receiver to the near side. Number 11 in blue has had a quiet day, as has the entire receiving crew for Buffalo. Agbana on the design quarterback draw. Spins away and gets inside the 40-yard line. Big pickup on 2nd down to make it 3rd down and 9.
And Agbana knew from the get-go that he was going to run this football without hesitation. And I love the decisiveness on his part and the tough running that he's showing as well as he's picking up more positive yards, making it at least somewhat manageable in this 3rd down, even though it's extremely long.
Yeah, Darren Anders making the tackle. He is always among the top tacklers for Bowling Green and in the MAC. So 3rd and 9. Cook. Nowhere to go, and right on cue, there's number 23 in white again, the senior from North Olmsted, Ohio. Middle linebacker, Darren Anders. 10th leading active tackler in the country, most in the MAC.
And you're probably saying to yourself, why are they running the football in 3rd and long? Well, point of the matter is, in fact, is that their leading quarterback, Snyder, is out, and they don't trust Ola Duncan to pass the football because the last time he did it, in a situation like this, it was not a great outing.
And I'm guessing Coach Linguist was saying, well, we're in 4-down territory here anyhow. We need 2 downs to get those 9 yards. Now it's 4th down and 9 as they go for it. Agbana gets drilled as he gets rid of the football. Cook has to make a man miss and does. 1st down, Buffalo and more. A huge 4th down conversion for the Bulls.
And great job by Agbana of staying in the pocket, knowing he's going to get hit from that, well, not knowing he's going to get hit from that backside, but he still delivers an accurate pass. And then Cook showing you his ability to run an open field as he picks up that 1st down. That was a tremendous play and great effort on both their part, Agbana and Cook.
Agbana lost it toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Buffalo! It's Harding on the receiving end as UB gets right back into this football game.
Now, I might have saw a push-off from my vantage point, but what do I know?
I can tell by your reaction, you saw it too.
Tail end right there. But that's a great job of Harding of not being demonstrative with the push-off. He does it very subtly. They're both fighting for the football, then he releases his hands, and that causes the DB to get off balance. So that's a great job on his part of utilizing tricks of the trade to get that score. So a much-needed one.
You're saying Jalen Husky just didn't suddenly fall backwards on his own?
No, but in that situation, just a little bit of pushing caused you to be off balance. So that was a great job on his part. Again, not overselling the push-off.
And so the versatile grad transfer from Duke out of Winter Haven, Florida, with a huge touchdown catch. Buffalo back within 10.
I've seen some passionate college football fans.
Sling Blue 40! Sling Blue 40!
But with Sling TV, some are taking
Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
Daryl Harding Jr.'s 3rd touchdown reception of the year pulls Buffalo back to within 10. His father, Daryl Sr., was a captain at Cincinnati back in the 90s. He's a second cousin of Ken Griffey Jr. He's got a psych degree from Duke. He's got a lot going on.
Yes, he does. A lot of talent in that family.
And so his play allows for Buffalo to get to within 24-14.
We'll call it his veteran move.
Yeah. Well, if you get a psych degree, you got to figure, well, I can do this.
Well, he psyched that official out. Because they did not call that push off.
And the Buffalo sideline back at it, as we have seen right from the opening kickoff here this afternoon. McNulty's kick lands on the B and Buffalo in the end zone, and BGSU will have it at the 25-yard line.
And it is pivotal for the Bowling Green Falcons that they muster some type of drive here, because you can sense and feel the momentum starting to swing as the homecoming crowd is starting to get into this football game, not only trailing by 10 points.
Well, Buffalo has won 5 of the last 6 meetings with Bowling Green. You see, the only Falcons victory was 2 years ago here at UB Stadium, 56-44, where in that game, Terrion Stewart tore off 170 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns. He's over 100 yards already today, trying to make it 2 for 2 in trips to Western New York. Camden Orth under center. 2 defenders make him get rid of the football perhaps a little earlier than he wanted to, and he was a bit too tall for Teron Keith.
Great job of calling a blitz on the part of the Buffalo Bulls. In that situation, BG just simply did not have enough guys to block on that naked boot that they tried to execute. Great job on the pressure.
Jair Stevens among those coming on the blitz to bring up 2nd down and 10. Again, pressure coming from the edge. And finally, the 3rd and 4th Buffalo defender pushed Stewart back and onto the turf. 3rd down and long.
And that's the Buffalo Bulls defense that you're accustomed to, swarming around, making things happen in the back of the field. In the backfield, as you get a tackle for a loss, as Stewart is brought down because you had Buffalo Bulls defenders coming from all types of angles.
Yeah, Khalil Red Murdoch, he's already on pace for his bachelor's degree by next fall. He's only a redshirt freshman.
Wow.
Came to Buffalo with a lot of credits out of high school from Hopewell High in Virginia. He plans to leave here with his doctorate.
Well, he's well on his way.
No doubt. Timeout called before the snap, with Bowling Green facing 3rd down.
30-second. Charge timeout. Bowling Green.
Well,
their first of the half.
As we said last week, Red Murdoch, as a linebacker at Buffalo, should go by his given name Khalil, because they've got a pretty good history of turning out Khalils at that position here at this school.
Find yourself in the first round doing some major damage in the National Football League.
Yeah, well, it's not just Khalil Mack. Khalil Hodge as well was a 3-time first-team All-MAC linebacker. So Khalil Red Murdoch trying to fill some big shoes there. Prior to the Dolak injury, Sean Dolak continues to be sidelined with a high ankle sprain. Murdoch continues to rotate with fellow freshman linebacker Deion Crawford, and then the veteran Joe Andreessen. And by and large, for Mo Linguist, they've done a good job this year.
Yeah, and today, for example, you haven't seen many mistakes as far as run fits are concerned. It's just simply been that Terrion Stewart has been a man possessed who refuses to go down. But right now, for the Bulls, you have to be really happy about what you're seeing from a defensive effort, because they seem to be in that backfield more often than not.
Well, Keith's in the backfield now at running back for BG on 3rd and 11. Setting up the screen. Nobody's home. Looked like they were trying to find the tight end, number 44, Harold Fannin Jr.
And Orth opted to just throw the football away as opposed to taking the chance of throwing it into traffic. But that was the worst scenario for Bowling Green, in that you had a 3-and-out situation, and you're going to give the football right back to an offense that's right now for the Bulls in sync. Minus not having Cole Snyder.
We've got some hearty fans here at UB Stadium on a cold, wet day. This is what they do here in Western New York, and I'm guessing a bunch of them will also be at the Bills game tomorrow night dealing with some elements. Cook has a blocker, but is swarmed under by the white jerseys at about the 35-yard line.
And you appreciate Cook's effort, but if you're going to be an effective punt returner, you have to go north and south. Dodging around and hoping to make a guy miss is extremely challenging, because you have so many people corralling towards you, trying to bring you down.
And so C.J. Agbana comes back on at quarterback for Buffalo. Still no word on why Cole Snyder was replaced at halftime. We have not gotten eyes on Snyder. on the sideline here in the third quarter. And there's the big takeaway for UB, leading to the touchdown by Daryl Harding Jr. on the nice pass by C.J. Agbana.
And Harding Jr. with the dance moves. The couple with the push-off.
Washington in at running back. He takes the handoff, has a hole. Tackled at the 41-yard line after a good gain. Dontrez Brown with the stop.
And this is where that physical running game can be effective, because you want to keep Bowling Green off the football field. At the same time, you want to amass positive yards on first down so you don't find yourself in the hole come third down with your signal caller.
Give it back to Washington. Nowhere to go. Met immediately by Joseph Sipp Jr. Came into the game 9th in the MAC in tackles this year. Up over 50 for the season now.
And this is where you want to see Agbana on the move, because he has the ability to obviously run the football very effectively. So I will not be surprised if he operates outside the pocket.
The line to gain is the 45 on 3rd and 3. Washington trying to get it between the tackles. He is brought down just shy. And again, Dontrez Brown, the senior defensive tackle from Fremont Ross High School in Ohio, continues to make plays.
Are we going heavy here?
Although Cook comes in replacing Washington at running back, but you're right, they got one of the big boys at the fullback spot, and 2 of them as lead blockers. Gabe Wallace, who started the season at left tackle,
It's 4th down.
is one of the big boys lined up in the backfield as a blocker. And Dom Palizzi is also back there.
And that delay on the part of the officials allowed Bowling Green to adjust with their own heavy package. So that doesn't help the cause for the Buffalo Bulls, in that they were ready to go with their big guys.
Following those big lead blockers, and you were right, Bowling Green defensively was ready for it, had time to catch its breath, and a huge 4th down stop for the Falcons.
Yeah, that respotting of the ball was everything, because Bowling Green was off guard. We're not ready for that. But give them credit. They were ready once the play commenced to stop Cook in the backfield. And you probably were saying to yourself, why not go with the bigger back in that situation as opposed to going with Cook? But hey, it doesn't matter if you get great penetration like that. Even with the big bodies in, it doesn't matter if you bring Earl Campbell or Jerome Bettis into the football game.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have a negative outcome like you had right there.
And once again, Darren Anders leading the way for this Bowling Green defense.
Heck of a play.
Well, the defensive coordinator for BG says of this young man, nobody treats his body better. Diet, rest, strength training, etc. He has turned himself into an all-MAC linebacker and continues to make big plays for the Falcons. And now the offense for BGSU with tremendous field position with only 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Stewart, tackle, nicely done. A sure-handed tackle. Something we've not seen regularly, and again, it's Red Murdoch.
Red Murdoch showing you as a freshman, I can handle a big load of Stewart, but is it a question for Stewart, fatigue kicking in, or simply put that the Buffalo Bulls are now playing for a higher level of energy and excitement, realizing that, hey, it's the 4th quarter. If we're going to get this job done, we better hurry up.
Indeed, 15 minutes put back on the clock as we head to the 4th.
Download Speeds during peak hours.
The Buffalo Bull mascot getting it done here as we head to the 4th quarter. Got some moves. You like it, Gerard Chair?
Yeah. Hopefully for the Bull faithful, that can translate to their football team, showing some moves and getting back in this football game.
Well, they missed a long field goal of about 50 yards right before halftime. Alex McNulty just off the mark. And you mentioned during the break what a difference that makes in where we are right now in the game as opposed to a 10-point game. It would have been a 1-score game. Opportunity now for Bowling Green to build that lead back up. On the wide receiver screen, it's a completion to Austin Osborne, the former Washington Husky.
Osborne with the middle screen, catches the football, turns his head upfield, picks up some positive yards, and more importantly, holds on to the football.
Camden North making his second start of the season for Bowling Green, senior quarterback from Gainesville, Ohio, out of Buckholz High School. He did appear in 10 games last season, his first with the Falcons after transferring from LIU. But making his second career start as a Falcon. And that's been the best thing he has done today, is hand the football to number 4, Terrion Stewart. He is tackled a yard shy of the first down.
And Terrion, simply put, is not running with the same level of effectiveness that we saw the first 3 quarters of this football game. And right here, he goes inside and bounces back outside. But normally this would be Terrion still running forward for the first down, but instead it's going to be 4th down because, simply put, he did not have enough energy to pick up more positive yards.
Yeah, it was great pursuit from Max Michel, who was the first defender to make Stewart change direction, and then he stayed with the play and finished the tackle for 4th down and 1.
It's clear Max has been in the weight room.
Out of the I formation. Time is called by Bowling Green. Scott Loeffler walked over and said, we got to talk this over. Will they go for it when we come back on 4th and 1?
Immediate timeout.
Been perfect in MAC play, looking for their 3rd win in a row, but they have been playing catch-up most of the game. Buffalo scored first and scored most recently, but everything in between was Bowling Green with 13:35 remaining in the 4th quarter. This will be the first time today, Gerard, that Bowling Green has gone for it on 4th down.
Right, and this is a pivotal point in this game, because if you can sustain this drive and keep that Bulls offense off the football field, that will certainly help the cause of you getting your first victory in conference play.
Again, back to the I formation with Stewart dotting the I, standing at the 43-yard line. They give to the fullback, which is number 44, the tight end Harold Fannin, and he has a big first down for the Falcons.
Yes, Harold does a tremendous job of moving along with that offensive line and following the direction of them and pushing that path forward. And for Bowling Green, you love this effort on the part of Fannin, and that he kept moving, did not go down, and everyone was assuming the whistle was going to be blown. But until you hear that whistle blow, you must keep moving and pushing them back if you're the defenders.
Orth feeds Stewart, who runs into his own lineman, spins away, still keeps the play alive, and he's going to get positive yardage. And now we've got an injured Bull back at the 35-yard line.
I'm pretty sure he hurt his shoulder trying to bring down Stewart, who again is a very difficult person to tackle. You see right there, he's sliding off the tackle, and then the tail end, Michel makes the tackle and slings Stewart out of bounds. And that's the Stewart we've seen throughout the course of the game, running with that type of effort and being effective while running the football.
Jaden Oliver is the injured Bull, and while they tend to him, we'll take a break here in Buffalo. And with that break, we have an opportunity to show you that next Saturday on the ESPN networks, lots of action as usual, including these Buffalo Bulls at Kent State at 3:30. Bowling Green will be home against the Akron Zips at 2 o'clock. The televised game on the ESPN networks, a 4 o'clock kick, should be a good one between Toledo and Miami. 2 of the 3 heavy favorites to make it to Detroit for the MAC championship game this year. That, of course, along with the Ohio Bobcats. And so now Buffalo's defense is going to have to make do without its cornerback, who picked up his first interception of the season earlier today.
So play 30 seconds and start both clocks on my whistle. The clock was stopped for an injury.
Clevester Hines on the field now at defensive back for Buffalo. He's playing press coverage on O.J. Hilaire to the bottom of your screen. Hilaire has had a quiet day, but again, that's pretty much the course for all the receivers today. Neither passing game has put up any sort of big numbers under tough conditions.
And Clevester is signaling that he's about to play the bell technique on the bottom of your screen.
Yep.
As he backs off, but he pulls back forward again. The blitz.
Orth going to run into that blitz. Tackled at the 25-yard line.
Andreessen and they're up.
Joe Andreessen. Damon Williams as well. We haven't mentioned Damon is wearing number 41 today with a flag on the field. That is a weekly honor that is handed out by the Buffalo coaching staff in memory of the late Solomon Jackson, a former Buffalo defensive end who died unexpectedly during a workout back in 2016.
Personal foul, legal block, below the waist. Offense, number 57. 15-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That's on the center, Alex Padgett, junior from Avon Lake, Ohio, first-year starter at center. And that'll push the Falcons all the way back to the 39-yard line.
And that is a huge mistake on the part of, as you see, Cole Snyder on the exercise bike trying to get himself warmed up. Is that to come back into the football game or simply to stay warm because he's been on the sideline?
Yeah, we've not gotten a report why we did not see him at all in the third quarter. And you wonder with Buffalo down by 10, if he is healthy and able to get out there, would you put him back out there to try and throw the football?
Certainly has to be a consideration, but right now for Bowling Green, they're in a hard spot. Now being pushed back so far from a potential first down.
Stewart, nowhere to run. That play was blown up from the start. Right on cue, number 41 this week, Damon Williams.
And Damon Williams just simply comes around on a loop, gets Stewart in the backfield, refuses to let go. As he loops around, he sees daylight, and he's like, hey, who was that? Oh, that's Stewart in my arms. I'm going to tackle him with some aggression. Fired up with the rest of my teammates as they now force a third and extremely long situation for the Bowling Green Falcons.
Second team all-conference a couple of years ago with a big tackle for loss to bring up third down and 22. And again, if you're Bowling Green, is this 4-down territory, you don't have to get all 20 yards here. If you're Orth, tucks it and runs. Still on his feet. My goodness, a huge run on third down to make it 4th down and 2.
That is a tremendous effort on the part of Camden Orth, because you would thought that he had been tackled in the backfield for a loss, but he gets away from a shell, then slips out of another tackle and then lowers his pads to pick up more positive yards and almost picks up the first down. That was one heck of a play.
Camden Orth, 6'3", 225, from Gainesville, Florida, with a huge pickup to bring 4th and 2, just over 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Going to try and pass for it, but time was called right before the snap. And that will leave Bowling Green.
There was a timeout called by Bowling Green. It's a charge timeout. Bowling Green, their third and final of the half.
Right, with no timeouts remaining.
Yeah, very interesting.
Coach Leffler must have seen something. Back to Buffalo after this.
Who do you think taps out first?
You would like to think that he could be effective, but still don't see his helmet on. So I'm not quite sure if he's going to go back out there, but you appreciate it if he is able to go out.
Well, the last time we saw him, he directed a very good late second quarter drive, but he did not come out of the halftime locker room. And so we don't know his availability. He was 5 of 13 passing for 30 yards. And on 4th down, Bowling Green lines up for what would be a 42-yard field goal that would match Alan Anaya's season long. It's up and
no good.
Off to the right, and so it remains a 10-point ball game here in Buffalo. And I correct myself, that was Jack Sauter who was given the opportunity at that 42-yard field goal, and he missed it, and so it remains 24-14.
Yeah, interesting. You have one field goal kicker for distance and another one for short yards, who I got to imagine is more accurate in shorter distances. But this is a great opportunity for the Bulls to get back in this football game.
And Snyder has his helmet back on.
However,
it is still C.J. Agbana at quarterback for Buffalo. Washington takes the handoff, finds a hole on the right side, and boy, he pushes the defender another 5 yards. Trent Sims, the junior safety, could not bring him to the turf until 5 extra yards were picked up.
And Washington says, you're not the only one, Stewart, who can run guys over and continue to push the crowd, as he does a great job right here, just lowering his shoulder and picking up those positive yards needed to get that first down.
Agbana passes low, trying to find Harding. They hooked up on a touchdown in the third quarter.
And I like the idea of the curl route right there. Obviously, Agbana has to do a better job of delivering that pass and making it more catchable for his receiver, and Daryl Harding Jr. But I like the idea of it, and at some point incorporate a hook and go.
The jet sweep. Trying to get the edge. Buffalo's got a first down and more. Good wheels by Victor Snow. Once again, he is the fastest Buffalo Bull.
Yeah, and find ways to get Victor Snow more involved in this football game. And that's a nice jet sweep play right there as he breaks outside and no one's there to slow him down. So what does he do? He picks up more positive yards.
First down for the young man out of Webster Schroeder High School in Rochester. From midfield, Buffalo driving the football down by 10 with under 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Agbana flushed, dumps it off, and that is going to go for a loss of about 6 yards. It's a pass complete to the running back, Washington, but he had nowhere to go.
And Davon Ferguson was right there recognizing what they were trying to do on the offensive side of the ball and makes a heck of a play. And credit Washington for getting back on that football, because initially after the catch, he fumbled it.
There you see what Washington did at Bowling Green last year. Buffalo's offense has not been humming here today. Conditions less than ideal. The rain seems to have stopped, but everything is soaked. Temperatures around 50 degrees this afternoon. Now as we head towards 6:30 or so.
Officials respotting the football, and that's more advantageous for Buffalo. You'd rather be looking at 2nd and 10 as opposed to 2nd and 15.
So did they call an incomplete pass?
Yes.
Okay. Definitely a positive for Buffalo. Instead of 2nd and 16, it's 2nd and 10 for Agbana. Trips to the right. Fakes the short pass, goes long down the sideline for Marlon Johnson. Incomplete. Right there with him, Darius Lorfills, the field safety out of Northwest High School in Germantown, Maryland.
And the ball placement by Agbana was not that bad. If anything, I would critique Johnson. You left your feet too soon and run underneath that. Don't try to jump for it, because the position of the football where it was placed was not bad at all.
The military brat, step for step defensively. Both of Darius's parents, Leslie and Herbert, are lieutenant colonels in the Army. We thank them for their service. On 3rd and 10. Agbana.
Ooh.
And the receiver is just chopped down. Ball came loose, and immediately grabbing his left knee is Cameron Ball.
Feel for Cameron on that. That's a tough one. And you want guys to hit you up high, and right there Ferguson just catches him low on his knee, and he gives up the football in the process, and that's very painful to get hit flush like that right on your knee.
And so the redshirt freshman tight end out of Gonzaga College High School in D.C. remains on the turf, getting that knee checked out. We'll step away while the medical team does its thing.
I'm not going to
off with assistance. He wasn't able to put much weight on it after what looked like a knee injury. He's in the medical tent being treated as we speak. And let's see if that takes the wind out of the sails, because you know better than I do, Gerard, that when one of your teammates goes down in that manner, it can be tough.
It certainly can be. And on the flip side of that, it can also galvanize a team and say, you know what, let's go out there and do it for Cam and represent and play with more vigor and passion in the process. But certainly it can be a situation where guys are thinking more about the injury as opposed to playing football.
4th down and 10. Buffalo goes for it with C.J. Agbana at the controls. Play clock down to 12. Big 4th down. Agbana down the left sideline, and it's just overthrown, trying to find Booby Curry. And so Buffalo turns the football over on downs.
Yeah, that's a tough one to complete. One is a low percentage pass because it's a fade route, and you're working against the defender and the sideline, and the time is unfortunately just off there because he had to rush to pass because he saw the blitz coming. And we have another injured play. It looks like that's Washington this time for the Buffalo Bulls, who's hobbling off the field.
One of their 2 lead running backs, he and Ron Cook Jr., both scored 2 touchdowns in a game last year against Bowling Green. And now Washington will be treated on the sideline for Mo Linguist's UB club, trying to figure out a way to erase a 10-point deficit with 8 minutes to go. Falcons with the football back. Camden Orth rolling right, fires, incomplete. Looked like he had a man open, but couldn't throw it on target to Harold Fannin Jr.
Yeah, certainly one that Camden Orth is going to want back because Fannin Jr. was wide open as he was running a corner route to the sideline, and no one was in the boundary with him to cover him.
Orth is now 9 of 16 passing, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, making his 2nd career start this afternoon. Orth keeps. He has been effective running that football, and that is part of why he got the start today. 9 carries, now over 70 yards and a touchdown, running the ball.
Yes, built like a fullback and runs like a running back. He doesn't normally have that description with your quarterback, but he's been extremely effective today running the football, in particular right up the middle.
Tackled by Joe Andreessen after a 7-yard pickup, 3rd down and 2. Orth going to run for it and have nowhere to go. My goodness, Buffalo's defense led by Marcus Fuqua, 3rd-team All-American a year ago, making the tackle.
And Fuqua shows you his ability to run from sideline to sideline as he tracked down Orth on that play, getting the tackle for a loss, and that is going to certainly help the cause for the Bulls as they try to get off this football field. With the punting unit not coming on the field for Bowling Green.
Big play by the young man out of Southfield A&T in Michigan. 4th year in the rotation, 3rd-year starter, still making big plays. And so now back deep to receive, as you see for Buffalo, is Cole Harity. Jackson Cleather's punt, fair caught at the 17-yard line. Still time on the clock, but Buffalo's got to make some plays on offense. Do they go back to their starting quarterback, or do they keep Agbana out there? It looks like Snyder comes back to the sideline. Agbana still will be the QB.
And I had an opportunity to watch Snyder run down the sideline, and he didn't look like he was in good spirits in the process. There was a bit of a limp to his running abilities, so that might explain why Agbana is still getting the call. But for Agbana, if he could just, it's hard, easier said than done, just settle down a little bit more in the pocket, he may have opportunity to get some big passes.
Agbana 2 of 4 passing here in the second half, now 2 of 5 as he misfires on his attempt to Daryl Harding Jr.
And it's always tough. First pass out the gate is incompletion. Now that puts you behind the sticks, and you got to assume again that it's going to be a passing play. So if you're Bowling Green, you're simply saying to yourself, let them catch it in front of me, just don't let anything get behind me.
Well, it was that combination that hooked up for the only touchdown of the 3rd quarter. Harding on a 24-yard reception from Agbana gave us this 24-14 score. 2nd down and 10. Straight up the middle. Big run. Jaquez Barksdale, a junior from Topeka, Kansas, as the Bulls move the chains.
Yeah, Jaquez simply goes straight up the middle, no one there. Gets to the 3rd level of the defense. And those type of positive plays will certainly help the cause, but at some point they're going to get some more, needed more chunks.
Agbana, no. The intended receiver, Cole Harity. Yeah, I love the number as we saw Barksdale protect that football, kept it high and tight. He's one of 10 different Buffalo players to have scored a touchdown so far this season.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity with this offense, but right now this offense seems to be limited because, simply put, you don't have your regular signal caller Snyder in the football game playing quarterback.
Barksdale spins through a tackle, spins again. 8, maybe 9 yards on the carry.
Yeah, you love the effort on the part of Barksdale, but the question becomes, do you have enough time to continue to run the football like this? I guess if you're going to pick up 8 or 9 yards a carry, that helps, but too much time is still coming off the clock.
Barksdale again follows his blockers across the 45 for a first down. Well, this Buffalo program has been built over the last 20 years on productive running backs. They've sent 3 to the NFL, James Starks, Bo Oliver, Jared Patterson. But they've yet to have a 100-yard rusher this year. Washington ran for 88 in a game earlier. And they have not been prolific today, but here they go to the air into double coverage, and it is intercepted. The Falcons with the takeaway that puts them firmly in the driver's seat. Trent Sims on the pick.
And the coaching point is really simple. You cannot, one, throw in a double coverage, and you cannot stare the direction that you want to go with the football. That makes the read extremely easy for the defensive back. And it looked like they're on top of that, playing a cover 2 coverage as well. So he had that part of the field. So for Bowling Green, great job of playing defense. But for some reason, the offense is still on the football field for the Buffalo Bulls. Did he catch the ball out of bounds?
Now, he is the nephew of Pro Football Hall of Famer Charles Woodson, the former Heisman winner. And, yeah, I don't know why that play was called back, but it's now 1st and 5, so I'm guessing there was some penalty. Yeah, defensive offside, so it was a free play as it turns out. And now can Buffalo take advantage? Agbana with positive yardage and gets a first down.
Oh, miscue and a half right there. A great job of recovering Agbana and picking up positive yards for the first down.
Agbana dumps it off. Barksdale on the receiving end for a short gain.
Just simply Barksdale out of backfield to pick up positive yards, not much. And as you see, this is the route tree for Buffalo is just limited with Snyder not being out there on the football field.
Barksdale again lowers his shoulder, gets across the 40-yard line to bring up 3rd down and manageable, but the clock continues to run, coming down on 4 minutes remaining.
All right, you need some chunk plays here. This is the 4 or 5 yards. If this was the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter, it'd be excellent for you. But with the time left on the clock and the score, you're going to have to get some chunk plays.
And if you don't get a first down here, do you consider kicking a field goal?
Certainly.
Flag down. Or do you go for it, knowing you're down 2 scores?
Ball start. Offense. Number 89.
That doesn't
5-yard penalty.
Cause.
3rd down.
No, Zion Carter's penalty makes it a little less likely that they would try a long field goal again in these conditions. Alex McNulty's got a big right leg. We saw him miss from 50 yards late in the first half, which is well within his normal range. Good to see Mike Washington, the Buffalo running back, doing some running on the sideline and some cutting, hoping he can get back into the game. Barksdale in motion. Agbana goes that way. Barksdale with it. On 3rd and long, he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
You're missing 2 of your top running backs and you're missing your quarterback. So this is a hard spot for the Buffalo Bulls as they try to go for it on 4th and 8 to pick this up.
Play clock down to 11. Got to get inside the 35-yard line. Agbana keeps the play alive.
Throw it.
And he is picked off along the sideline Indeed, it was caught inbounds. Davon Ferguson with the interception that will seal it, you would think, for BG.
He's inbounds, he catches it, and Agbana missed an excellent opportunity to throw the football into the end zone as he had one of his receivers, Marlon Johnson, wide open, but he didn't have his eyes down the football field as he ends up instead throwing an interception. And at this point, you figure that if Bowling Green can pick up a first down, that this football game is more than likely over. As you see right here, you don't see it, but if he throws that football and lets it go without hesitation and doesn't wait right there, one, the interception doesn't take place, and he's more than likely celebrating a touchdown throw as opposed to that INT.
Instead, it's another big play for Davon Ferguson.
Start off the game with a miscue from a Simon standpoint that led to a touchdown, but ever since then, Doug, he has been tremendous.
Straight up the middle as the Falcons look to run out the clock here with the football. With 2:38 remaining, Buffalo, with its full complement of timeouts, will use one to stop the clock. And Terrion Stewart is slow to get up.
Yeah, that's not a good sign either.
Well, he has had a tremendous day running the football. Came in having picked up 416 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, averaging 69 per game. Was nearly to 100 yards rushing by halftime. They've got him now at 119 yards.
In the fourth quarter, he was not as punishing as he was in earlier quarters of this football game, but it's great to see him back on his feet, but he is walking with a limp as well.
Well, from here, Bowling Green will end its 3-game road trip and host the Akron Zips 2 o'clock next Saturday before having a week off. And then the midweek Maction starts November 1st at home against Ball State. They're going to need Terrion Stewart at full strength for that. But closing in on what would be a first conference win of the year and handing Buffalo its first conference loss. Now they go to a backup who has a huge hole and plenty of room to run.
Whoa.
With the Jets untouched. A long touchdown for Teron Keith. There is a flag on the field at the moment. It is a 62-yard touchdown run.
Holding. Offense. Number 10. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down. The clock will start on the snap.
That's the tight end Levi Gazarek. Called for the hold, number 10 in white.
And Levi simply once the ball is past you, too much extracurricular. Why tackle the guy to the ground? You did your job. You sealed the block. That is an excellent run on the part of Keith. And again, doing too much is the issue right there. You made the block. You cut off the defender from getting to the runner. No need to throw him to the ground. Unnecessary physicality right there.
So Buffalo catches a break, but again up against it with 2:28 on the clock. Second down and 18.
Oh.
A lot of window dressing, just a straight run up the middle.
It was pretty, though. I must say.
Devin Grant with another tackle for Buffalo.
A lot of window dressing for a 1-yard gain, if that. But Grant brings the thunder as he's still playing with a lot of motivation and heart. very impressed with what I've seen out of him today. He certainly has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, the Defensive Player of the Week nationally last week for his 3 interception performance. He has had a good game here, no takeaways. Rushing yards for BG, a big story. And Buffalo trying to get the offense going without key players. Starting quarterback Cole Snyder has been out the entire second half. Buffalo's defense brings up a 4th down and uses its second timeout to get the ball back with 1:34 to go.
And to the credit of the Bulls defense, they've done a nice job of getting off the field. It's just simply put, the offense can't do anything with these opportunities that they're presenting to them. As you see, Terrion Stewart will get my player of the game award if this game were to commence right now.
Good to see him back out there and running the football after being slow to get up just a couple of minutes ago. So the punter, Jackson Cleather, true freshman from Tip City, Ohio, awaits the snap at about his 16-yard line. Buffalo with nobody back deep to receive, going to try and block this punt. They don't.
That was effective, though.
Bowling Green roll, though, will have the football get down near the 20-yard line. So now the Bulls are going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat. Does this offense have enough to get the ball down the field quickly? They're the out-of-town scores. 3 other games late. Akron trailing Central Michigan and Mount Pleasant. Ohio trailing Northern Illinois and DeKalb by a touchdown. That would be a huge win for the Huskies, a big loss for the Bobcats.
Yes, it would.
And then Western Michigan trailing at home by 13 to Miami.
Especially with Miami leading Western Michigan right now. But right here, it's, I believe, Snyder's back in the game.
We haven't seen Snyder take a snap since the second quarter. He gets hit, and his pass is incomplete.
And just simply put, the passing game, along with the running game, has been very ineffective for the Bulls today. As he gets his arm hit, as he releases that pass, had more to do with the errant throw.
Howell able to beat Shepard on the edge to get that pressure. 2nd down and 10. Snyder steps up in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and he gets intercepted. Another Buffalo turnover as A.V. McGarry comes up with his second big play of the ball game.
That may come back because that's just foolishness on the part of Bowling Green right there. You intercept the quarterback, and then they made a point to body slam Snyder to the ground afterwards. Just doing too much. Yeah, Avi McGarry. You gotta be smarter than that.
Result of the play is an interception. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Bowling Green, number 16. That's his first of the game. 15-yard penalty will be enforced. Bowling Green's ball, 1st and 10.
Watch the left of your screen. A.V. McGarry went down.
And I apologize. That wasn't A.V. McGarry that did that miscue, in which I gave him a hard time for it. It was number 16 for the Bowling Green Falcons.
That is Chase Davis, junior defensive back from Whittier, California. Buffalo uses its final timeout.
Coach Leffler's not happy about it either. Got to be smarter than that. And that's what he's talking about playing clean football. And part of playing clean football is being disciplined and not taking matters in your own hands. And it was totally unnecessary what he did on that interception.
Bowling Green on the verge of winning its third game of the year after having been blown out in 3 of their last 4 games. And more importantly, they're going to pick up their first win in conference play here today and on the road, doing it against a Buffalo team that was in search of a 3rd win in a row.
Yeah, got back on track, because one would think after that huge victory over Georgia Tech that would set them into motion and on a course to have more success winning football games. But obviously he ran up against a Miami football team that had other thoughts in mind. But this is certainly going to help the cause. But if they want to continue to have success, they're going to have to continue to play cleaner football in the process as they go further in this conference play.
Well, Scott Loeffler and his staff went back to basics, discipline, fundamentals this week, trying to find a level of consistency. You never know when it's coming, he says. Well, it came today. They overcame some adversity in the first quarter, turning the football over, but they managed to get it done and will win this thing 24-14.
Yes. Credit them for starting off slow but getting on track and finding a way to win this football game with a great team effort in which special teams, defense, offense all complemented each other in the process of helping win this football game today.
First MAC win of the season for Coach Loeffler, led by the running back Terrion Stewart, 119 yards on 23 carries. An opportunistic defense, special teams play. It's a complete effort for the Falcons. Our final score, once again, 24-14, Bowling Green over Buffalo. The Bulls will try to regroup. BG heads home after a tough 3-game road trip off of a victory. For Gerard Cherry and our entire crew, I'm Doug Sherman. Thanks for watching. So long from Buffalo, New York.